Good. I hope that you are okay. But I've been led to talk about this situation along with some people. I tell y'all, some people are doing truth spells or whatever. So I just want to give people truth or whatever because that's exactly what I think that they deserve, the truth. So I was led to talk about this situation when I was younger. You know, a person named Chris. This person, I can't consider this person as a boyfriend, no ex or anything. He was more like a friend or whatever. He got my number one day or whatever, and I gave him my number and stuff like that. We talked. We never kissed. We never had sex. We never did anything. So this person, I just wanted to tell the truth about that situation. Me and that person never had anything that was, you know, something with each other or anything like that. Me and this person never had anything that was, you know, no sexual situation, none of that stuff together with one another. We just didn't. Um, Another person named Mark. I never met this person before. Um, I never met this person before in person. This person named Mark. This is my cousin's husband. My cousin Miko husband. I don't know this person, but this person has been coming up a whole lot. I don't know why, but this person has been coming up a whole lot. They kept saying Mark, Mark. I don't know who no Mark is. Another person, Alex and Jimmy. I don't know no Alex and I don't know no Jimmy. And it's something about the next door neighbor. I don't be knowing these people, y'all. I don't know nobody in my area for real like that. I don't know nobody. The only somebody that told me their name was Adina. And I heard other people's name, but you know, I don't be worried about what people got going on, how they got it going on. I just don't. But another one I wanted to talk about the time when I went to jail or whatever. When I went to jail or whatever, and just like I talked about this in a previous video or whatever. When I went to jail or whatever, in Bessemer, I went to jail or whatever. Wrong place, wrong time. But they didn't understand the situation, but it doesn't matter. I'm glad to talk about this situation. So when I went to jail or whatever, I asked them because I didn't want to be in general population or whatever. I wanted to be in isolation. So I asked them to go to isolation or whatever. And they took me to isolation or whatever, so somebody could come and talk to me and stuff like that. And the lady told me that because I didn't want to go inside of general population because I had to take my hair, the way my hair was looking or whatever. It was all wild and stuff like that. I just be kind of, I'm not really, well, now I'm good at it. Judgment, all that stuff like that, I don't care about it anymore. But um so I was there or whatever, and my mouth was hurting real bad. And just like I told you, I asked these people to drug test me. So I had a big hole in my teeth on my left side in the back, in my wisdom teeth. I'm talking about, it was I ain't gonna say, it was one of my wisdom teeth. So I asked these people, well, I was calling these people on the intercom or whatever for them to come and see about me because my mouth was hurting very badly. I'm talking about very badly. And I supposed to been, I had a scheduled appointment and everything to the dentist to go and get it taken out. I had to make enough money first in order for me to get the teeth out of my mouth. So I made a appointment, but I wasn't able to make the appointment or whatever because of what happened and stuff like that. So these people, I was asking for help and things like that. Couldn't get the help that I needed or whatever. I was crying. I was hitting my head on the dang on speaker a little bit, but it wasn't to where I could knock myself out or anything like that. But it was hurting just that bad. It was hurting very badly. But I couldn't do anything about it at the time, and that was okay. I wasn't worried about it. So I ended up having to, I kept on buzzing the buzzer and all that stuff like that, so somebody can get back at me and stuff like that. Finally, somebody got back at me or whatever, and I told them what was going on. Told them that my mouth was hurting and things like that, and I have a hole in my teeth and things like that. So when I got down, they finally came because I had been calling out for help since that morning. Since that morning, I had been calling out for help. So they finally, that evening came, the night came. So when the night came or whatever, they came and got me or whatever. And the nurse was like, what the nurse asked me, what was wrong and stuff like that. And I told her that I had a hole in my teeth and it was hurting me real bad. I have a bad headache and I can't shake the headache. And she was like, okay. So the officer, he, interrupted and said, are you on any drugs or anything before we give you this medication? Are you on drugs? I said, I asked you all to please drug test me. I stopped him and I looked at him and I said, look, drug test me. Urine test me, blood test me. I said, I don't want to take anything right now until y'all urine test me and blood test me. If you don't want to get no urine or no blood, then don't assume that. Because I offered you all to do that when y'all first brought me in here, but I ain't say it like that. I just told them, y'all could easily, urine test me because they could have. I didn't have no problem with that. I asked these people to do so. So the lady she gave me the Tylenol or whatever and stuff like that, and I asked her, can I chew it? And she was like, yes, you could chew it or whatever. I said, because I'm really in pain, and you're not in pain for real unless you decide to chew. So I hate medication. Like when I tell you that I hate medication very badly. I cannot just chew it. But that time, I chewed them dang on Tylenol. Do you hear me? I chewed them like I chewed them like it went nothing. And she told me, she said, we're gonna give it to you every 4 hours or whatever and she said, try to get on the portal and make your appointment or whatever. Let them know that you need to make an appointment to see the dentist or whatever. And I said, I can do that. She was like, yeah, you can request to see a dentist and all this stuff like that. So I'm like, okay. So when they came to talk to me or whatever and give me some more Tylenol, I asked them, can I go in general population, whatever. So I went over into general population and all this stuff like that. Everything was okay and all that stuff like that. So while I was in general population and stuff like that, I was interacting with everybody, playing solitaire, playing card games and all this stuff like that. Everything was going okay, and I started feeling sad and stuff like that because I don't be around people and all this stuff like that as it is, but I just used to just lay in the bed and stuff like that, and when nobody even know I'm crying and stuff like that. So these people decided to play back a video of when I was being tortured in jail, when my teeth was hurting very badly, and they refused to give me help. They decided to play back the video, and they turned it up so I can hear them playing the tape back. And I'm trying not to cry about the situation, but it was so bad when I was up in there to where I just didn't understand why all these grown leaders hate me. Why do you hate me so much? I never did anything to y'all. And because of them being connected to my kid's father and whoever the clerk of the court was, and to my dad's side of the family, they decided to do me like this. So when I spoke out about it or whatever, I didn't say anything or whatever. I just cried harder in the bed or whatever, and was just laying there in the bed, laying on my pillow, just crying and crying and crying and stuff like that, because they was making fun of my teeth hurting and me being in pain. But I wasn't worried about it though. I just when I decided to get up or whatever, because I just decided not to eat or anything. I didn't want to eat anything. I just didn't feel right or anything like that. I just wanted to just bury my head in the bed and just never get up again. But I had, when they have to do the count or whatever, I had to get up and stand in front of the bed or whatever until they get finished with the count, and I get back in bed. I didn't want to get out, so it went on for like that. I wouldn't eat none of that stuff like that. They asked me if I'm hungry, and I tell them no or whatever. Some of the people was telling me, can I get up and get the tray for them so they could eat it? And I would. I get up, because I'm a nice person. It ain't because I was being bullied or anything like that. That's just weird. I'm not look, I'm little, but I don't play it. I don't play that stuff. I really don't. And I'm gonna try hard not to cuss too. I don't play that. That bully stuff, baby, go ahead on with all that. I don't give a care how big you is, baby. I'm gonna try it. I don't care if I'm gonna get my behind beat. I'm gonna try it. So stop playing with me, like seriously. But whenever they'll tell me, they was like, it's some good food today. You sure you don't want that? Can you go and get it for me? And I'll go and get the food for them and stuff like that. Or whatever, and take it to them, and then I get back in the bed and I just lay down or whatever. But they had me feeling very bad, feeling very bad about myself. But I wasn't worried about it. Just like I said, people was playing with my court date and things like that, but I wasn't worried about that either. I had talked to this lady or whatever about what was going on with me and all this stuff like that. But before I even get to that, because that's when I went to Pinson and then I had to go to jail again or whatever. But I talked to someone in there about what was going on and all this stuff like that, blah blah blah. So let's get back to when I went back to jail. When I was in Pinson or whatever, and they brought me back to the same jail or whatever. I went to the jail or whatever. I guess these people supposed to call themselves mad at me because some of these people have lost their job, but it wasn't because of me. I don't know what it was that made these people lose their job. They could have lost their job and then had their job back as soon as I left. I don't know. I didn't ask for their jobs to be taken away, but it should have been taken away and never gave it back to these people if they have them. They should have never had their job back for what they did to me. But it's okay. I'm not even worried about it. I just thank God that I'm out of there, and can't nobody and nothing put me back in there, because those people was wrong. The stuff that these people was doing to me that when I was in jail was wrong. So when I went back to the same jail or whatever, investment, um these people, I guess they had to create something for me to look embarrassed and stuff like that, because they wanted to show people that, oh, the pictures that she be posting and stuff like that, she don't really look like those pictures. She don't really look like this. She don't really look like that. And whenever they go to jail or whatever, that's when you really know how a person really look. So these people created something for me to go to jail. I went to jail or whatever and had to take off my hair and take my hair down or whatever. I was looking like a fool because it wasn't nothing but it was full of just men in the jail or whatever. It wasn't nothing but male officers everywhere. They had to wait till a female officer come and get me. I think it was just like one female, but it wasn't nothing but male officers in there. You know how embarrassing that was. These people wouldn't let me put on me no clothes, wouldn't let me put on no socks, no shoes, no nothing. They just want me to go how I was, just for me to be embarrassed. And usually people let you go back into your house and get a coat or something. It was cold outside. These people had on clothes. But y'all just went into my dang on apartment, decided to look around inside of my dang on apartment. I don't know what they was looking for inside of my apartment, but they just went in there looking around in my apartment. What are you trying to find? Because y'all literally watch me every dang on day, 24/7. I have no freedom with how much y'all be watching me. So what could I possibly have inside of my dang on apartment? And I don't even go nowhere. What could I possibly have in my dang on apartment? So when these people took me out or whatever, wouldn't let me get no coat, nothing to put on my arms, wouldn't let me put nothing on. They took me out or whatever. I was colder than a mug, asking for blanket and stuff like that. Couldn't get no blanket until they found out what was the reason why I was in jail and stuff like that. What was the reason why they brought me into jail, which I shouldn't have been able, and they shouldn't have brought me out of my dang on apartment in the first place. I'm calling to report a crime, but I end up going to jail. So, one word about that. So, while I was in there or whatever, it was a person that talks to my child's father, and I think it was his baby mother, one of his baby mothers. I don't know, and I don't care. But this person tried. Okay, while I was listening to the conversation what these people was having while we was in jail, right? She was like, we need to get her way to get her over here because I want to talk to her and see what she have to say about this, that, and third. I was overhearing the conversation, but I didn't say anything. So it was like, do you know how to play solitaire? Do you know how to play in the card games? I was like, uh, what is it? Tomp or whatever. I think it was Tomp. That's what it's called, I believe. I don't play card games, y'all. I play solitaire on the phone and all that stuff like that. That's probably why I'm saying solitaire, but Tomp or whatever. So I was like, yeah. It was like, well, I need a partner and stuff like that. So I'm sitting down on, you know, hearing them talk or whatever and stuff like that, and they talking about their exes and stuff like that and how they in love with their boyfriends. They were trying to get a conversation out of me, try to see what to talk about so I can engage in the conversation or whatever. So they asked me questions and stuff like that, and the girl was like, well, I just had a baby and stuff like that, and I was drunk. Bitch, you just had a baby and you drinking? So she wanted to let me know that who she was or whatever, who she was connected to. Apparently, my kid's father. I just had a baby, and my baby daddy tripping and stuff like that. So he's with Whoop or whatever, because she said that's her uncle name. So I guess that my kid's daddy was either affiliated, well, talking to her, or she just wanted to let me know that she was affiliated with my kid's father. So they was trying to get her out before me, or trying to get us off from around each other and stuff like that. But she just had to see me because she used to walk around. And yes, I did struggle with problems when it came to my hair and all that stuff like that. So the bitch used to walk around the goddamn jail talking about some alopecia, this, that, and third, which I didn't give a fuck about none of this shit. But still, these people just created embarrassing moments for me and didn't give a fuck what they did to me. So when the bitch got ready to leave and all that stuff like that, she decided to, first of all, you embarrassing your damn self. And I wouldn't even trust her having no goddamn child with you in the first place, running around drunk and shit, and you just had a newborn. That don't make no sense. Bitch, was you pregnant was you pregnant when you was drinking? I believe so. But anyway, this person's supposed to be from Montgomery or whatever, and I think that's where my child, he used to stay going to Montgomery and all that stuff like that. I be connecting dots and stuff, but it is what it is. Like I said, this person wanted to let me know who she was connected to, because she named that particular person's name, and she was also telling me where that person lived at. It wasn't too far from where my grandmother lived. It was like right across from where my grandma used to live. So I know which one of the ones that she was talking about or whatever. So after that or whatever, she left or whatever and all that stuff like that. She'll call and all that stuff like that and ask about me and all this stuff like that and what I'm doing and this, that, and third. And this fat girl that I used to go to school with used to be giving her updates and stuff like that about me being in jail and stuff like that. So my kid's father sent, just like I said, I had to break away from this particular attorney or whatever because he was affiliated with my kid's father. I had to break away from him because of his affiliation, and him reporting back to this particular attorney, Calvin Biggers. He kept on going back and forth, and just like I said, these people have been trying to create ways for me to shut up, for me to be quiet, because they don't want me to speak up about what had happened to me in the past, because, God knows what, I don't know if stuff being done to these people what, but I'm going to talk about it because it was wrong, what was done to me. But it's just something about them targeting me, period. I didn't understand what was the real reason why these people wanted to target me, and I've been let that person go. Like, why is she trying to create these situations where I'm being around these people who connected to my kid's father? Like, for what? All this stuff was just so childish to me. So y'all brought me into jail just for me to be sent in front of this female for what? This person is not, look, me and this person is not together. We don't mess around with each other. So why do y'all feel the need to put this person in front of my face? Like, I don't care nothing about this person or what they got going on. So what's the problem? Like, really, what is the problem? Because I don't understand. Like, these people do a lot, and I just don't be understanding the stuff that they do. And the people who are connected with these people, these are grown individuals that's leaders. Some of these people have more than me, and call themselves mad for what? I did nothing to y'all, so y'all gonna do all of this stuff to me for what? Why would y'all do some stuff like this? It doesn't make no sense to me. It's wrong, but I'm not worried about it. Like I said, I'm doing the Bible verse of the day or whatever, but I just had to talk about that situation because it was wrong the way I was done or whatever by these people, and it always lead back to that jail or whatever for some reason. People want me to be embarrassed and stuff like that, and they create these, child moments in my life where they did the mug shots and was passing the mug shots around to people. People laughed and they did all that stuff like that. I don't care. I mean, it is what it is, because if I see that I need to change something within myself, then I will. Not if you see that I need to change something. No, if I want to change some stuff, I will change it. But I don't see nothing on me that I need to change, so I'm good. And who's to say that I'm going to be with any of you? Didn't nobody say nothing about they was going to be with neither one of y'all. So why is you worrying about my looks, what I have on, what I'm like, any of that stuff? Why is you worried about it? And then when this trick got ready to leave or whatever, she going to hand me some pants full of some bloody pants. She handed me some bloody pants that she wanted to give me, talking about these are some extra pants that you can. Girl, don't nobody want them nasty dang on pants. I said I give them to the person or whatever, because I already had some clean pants, but her pants had blood in them. That just was nasty. You don't do no stuff like that. You can tell what type of person she is to do some stuff like that anyway. But anyway, the verse of the day is John 13:14. A new commandment. Okay? A new commandment I give to you, that you love one another just as I have loved you. You also are to love one another. By this, all people will know that you are my disciple, if you have love for one another. Okay? We're going to be discussing this. The necessity of love is what we're going to be talking about. And it's always been a problem with me when it comes to my hair too. Because my family members, they have been doing a lot of stuff too when it comes to my hair too. Word affirmation and stuff like that. When I was with my auntie, when I was over my auntie house, my auntie seen how fast my hair had to grow. It had to grow long. Do you hear me? It grow long, and it was like, she was like, that's your hair? Yes, it's my hair. And I had been out of jail for a while. It took me just a year to grow my hair, but it had grown out real full, and it was bouncy and stuff like that. I'm talking real beautiful. So I went to sleep or whatever, and I woke up. My auntie, she in the chair just sitting there, and it's like she was chanting something. And I'm looking, I'm like, I turned around and I looked, and I see her. She was looking dead at me, and it was like she was chanting something. So I was scared. I turned my head the other way or whatever, and didn't say anything, and tried to go back to sleep, but I couldn't go to sleep. So I just waited or whatever, and then just waited for a minute. And the TV, she turned the TV off or whatever. But I was scared. I'm not gonna even lie. So I went into, because before, just like I said before, she seen my hair. She's like, "That's your real hair?" "Yeah, that's my real hair." She's like, "Your hair is so long," and stuff like that. She touched my hair and all that stuff like that. And then after I seen her doing those word affirmation and chanting and stuff like that, I left out of her room, and I didn't go back to her room ever again. I left out of her room and went into the living room and just started sleeping in the living room, because I don't know what people be having going on. But my auntie, she will let you know that she's into stuff like that. Well, if you don't know, now you know. My auntie dibble and dabble in darkness. She will tell you if you ask. Some people she will, but sometimes she act like she don't or whatever. She all God fearing, but she's not. Because she have like a little scarecrow that's on her refrigerator, and that will do look. It will move if you get any negative spirit, it will move towards your way. I mean, it would turn its head real fast, because when my cousin walked in the kitchen, I don't know if it's the type of crow that sense negativity or something. I don't know. But as soon as my cousin walked in the kitchen, when I seen this snatch your head round to where he was, man, I was so dang scared. He came over and he pulled the crow head to the front and pulled it or something like that, and it went back to the front. I was like, oh my goodness. He said it always do that. I'm like, what in the world is that? And he explained to me what it was or whatever. I was like, oh, it's time for me to go. And I left. I ain't come back either, because I don't deal with stuff like that. But anyway, love doesn't it validates our faith. It undermines our witness, and can alienate to the world from the message of the gospel. Okay, how we act, speak, and treat one another can either attract or push those outside the faithful community. Okay, people on the other side looking in have the right to conclude we are not followers of Jesus if love is not evident. Okay, it doesn't mean that disciples of Jesus can't disagree, and it doesn't mean that toxic people wouldn't create conflict. What matters is how we handle toxicity and disagreement among others, among ourselves, because people can put out all this stuff and stuff like that, but it's how we act, that reflects us. The point Jesus is making may well be that others may not even come to a position of being able to consider our beliefs if they find us as harsh individuals who seem to enjoy harsh fights with one another. If we take if we take a fall on showing love to follow, fellow believers, it's a very poor advertisement. Okay, yeah, advertisement for our faith. A Christian church that seeks to proclaim the love of God may not get to people to have peace with God. It's a bit hard if the church is having one of its regular wars, okay? Because you have church people that be coming after people who they shouldn't be coming after. If you say that you're a Christian and stuff like that, these people be trying to judge everything about you. God said, come as you are. He didn't say know everything that you need to know and then come. He said come as you are. You're not supposed to be judging nobody that's coming and trying to make better or trying to do better for themselves. That's what run people away from the church in the first place. Like grow up people. The people is our world is okay. The people in our world is so splintered, okay, and upset. So often riven by feuds, okay, and animosity and dismissive of those we may not like or approve of. Our Christian communities can be a safe and encouraging place in which people may discover ultimate truths. It okay if we fail to love one another, they won't even get to the front door. But just like I said, I've been going through blockages and stuff like that. When it comes to people, which is very wrong, these people that are in positions to lead, sometimes I just don't be knowing. Like, why would y'all do that to somebody just because the people want to create these terror moment in somebody's life? Why would you want to do stuff like that to somebody? Like, really, why? Because it's like I was having more problems out of females in Birmingham than males because of what they decisions and what they decided to do towards me. We got to make this person look like this, that, and the third. So in order for us to do this stuff like that, we got to do this, that, and the third. Like, why would you want to do something like that to somebody? How would you handle that situation if somebody did you that way? Because then I was being rejected by doctors. The doctor said that they couldn't see me, even if it was in January, I couldn't see a doctor until November. So I was being rejected by doctors. My doctor that's supposed to be seeing me, she wouldn't see me, all that stuff like that. So I went through, it's like I was real live going through a crucifixion. This is the honest God truth. It was like I was going through a crucifixion with how I was feeling. I was hurting, my body was aching. I was going through a lot of terrible moments. Do you hear me? And these people wanted to pull me out of my dang on apartment and take me down there to a fucking jail. I'm sorry for cursing, Lord, and calm down. But it's heartbreaking though. I be trying to keep myself from crying from things, well, thinking about the past. But what these people did was just, it's okay though. What these people did was just so messed up, and I'm not even worried about it. But may God have mercy on their soul, because y'all wrong for what y'all did, but we ain't gonna worry about it. We're gonna continue to keep going and pushing forward. I try not to reflect to the past, but just like I said, somebody I've been doing truth fail, so I've been getting up here giving y'all the truth as much as I need to, whatever. But it's just wrong what people do, and they call themselves, how you gonna call somebody a witch and say somebody is all this stuff like that when you the one that's out here doing witchy stuff? How can you, how can you consider somebody else a dang on witchy that will never do anything, you know, witchy? Like, if I was doing stuff wicked as y'all, I would call myself a witch. But I don't do nothing but pray and read the Bible. And people have a problem with that. Why? What is the real reason? Like, I was so glad when these people just finally said that they'll see me, because I had to go to a clinic and stuff like that. I had to find a doctor that was close to me. When they finally gave me an appointment to see a doctor or whatever, just like I said, my vital signs, everything was messed up until my blood pressure was out the roof, and they was telling me that I was okay to walk out of that office. Excuse me, they was refusing to help me. So I wasn't worried about it. I just got home and I started just trying different things and food to get myself better, myself the best way I knew how. And I healed naturally from the inside and out. I healed. And these people pissed off about it. How you pissed off at something that you was trying to do to somebody? You was trying to force me into bad health. And I'm not gonna lie, it was working, y'all, because I was so dang on live. I was down to bones. Do you hear me? I was so dang on small. So dang on small. And I gained my weight back up. I gained my weight back up myself. And it was just so heartbreaking the way these people were treating me. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I just don't know what is going on or whatever. But I found out that this person that was involved in stuff like that, I did this stuff before to people. I don't know if this is the community that they bring people to. Some people it be in the house and community who they be targeting, who they send out to talk to a person and all that stuff like that to try to put them in bad health. Because the thing that people said was trichomonia. something about trichomony and all this stuff like that. When somebody, jump out of their trick and come mess with you with they juices or whatever, you can get trichomonia from stuff like that. So I was going through some situation like that or whatever, and while I was going through it, I couldn't get no help from no doctors or whatever. And they couldn't sit down and talk to me about anything that I was going through. What was the next steps? So they continued to just ignore my cries out for help. So what I was doing was just trying to rebuild myself from the inside to make myself feel better or whatever. So I was trying out different foods and things like that to heal my my insides. I was trying to heal my insides so I wouldn't feel, bad and stuff like that. I wouldn't feel like I was I would feel like, I was about to vomit and all this stuff like that. So I found a lot of stuff that I could use besides use their medication to make me feel better. And that started, building my weight started coming back to me, like it's supposed to and all that stuff like that. They finally gave me a dental appointment because they were trying to. I already have. Look, people know that I have problems when it comes to my teeth or whatever because of people, whatever what they have done in the past. These dentists is working together and all this stuff like that, working with these people and stuff like that to mess with my teeth and all this other stuff like that. They did a whole lot of stuff because I was the type of person that didn't like no sweets at all. I didn't eat sweets at all. I didn't. I never ate sweets and stuff like that. My teeth was real healthy and all the stuff that like that. And all of a sudden, stuff started happening when I started seeing certain dentists. Okay, so just like I said, it was a dentist that told me. I was talking to this dentist. It was at his house. He told me it was something about my teeth in the front or whatever. He said, you have not lost a nerve or anything that was in your teeth and all that stuff like that. So the only thing we'll have to do is just put something on top of it or whatever because one of my teeth was right in the front. This sky tooth, y'all. One of them was right in the front or whatever. And they told me it came from eating gum. Whenever you eat gum and you go out into, you go out or you be in the hospital and stuff like that, germs attached to that gum and they end up, running in your teeth. You don't have to have been ate no candy or anything else, but those germs get on the gum and you be chewing and all this stuff like that. And So one of my teeth ended up right in front of my mouth, and the doctor, well, the dentist told me that I didn't have no nerve damage or anything like that. They were just gonna have to put something on top of it or whatever, and that was it. So the dentist ended up getting a call. He ended up getting a call, and he walked out the dentist's office. Then he came back in, whatever. After I'll say like 10 or 15 minutes or whatever of me sitting there. Whoever called him, I don't know what it was. But he came back into the office or whatever. He told me, I have to take your teeth out and all this stuff like that. I have to take it out and I'm just gonna do your bridge. I'm like, you just told me that I didn't have to have the teeth removed. But okay, I allowed him to do the procedure and all this stuff like that. I paid him for the procedure because before you even get a procedure done, you have to pay up front the price or whatever. You have to pay half then and half after they done or whatever. That's how it's supposed to go. And I paid these people. So they was messing with me when it came to the payment and all that stuff like that. And they cracked my tooth that I was on the other side of my mouth or whatever. So I wasn't able to get it done. They cracked it. By them doing the bridge or whatever, they cracked my good teeth. The teeth that wasn't bothering at all, they cracked it. He told me that he was gonna give me an appointment and he was gonna set up an appointment for him to do the tooth again or whatever. But I was afraid to go back to him because after them doing procedures when they did tooth extractions, they never did give me no antibiotics and they didn't give me no pain medicine. So I went home or whatever. I'm like, okay, so they didn't prescribe me no pain medication or no if they didn't prescribe me no pain medication or no antibiotics, then maybe he trying to say that I don't need none. So I went home and it was cold too. I'm talking about it was real cold outside. I was crying like that whole night like that. The next 2 days I had to go back to work or whatever. I said no, I need to call the dentist to see if he can, prescribe me something or something because this is hurt too bad. Man, my head hurt so dang bad. I called the dentist and I said they did not send the prescription over because I couldn't go back to the office because they was closed. So I had to wait until the next day or whatever. And then it was around the holiday. Man, I was like, oh my goodness, I'm finna die. But I finally, when they got into the emergency number, whatever, they got to him with him. He said, look, Whenever you find out, I said I did. I couldn't get in touch with no dang on body because the office was closed. He was like, whenever he said, you always make sure that. Then I said they told me that they sent the prescription to the pharmacist. That's the reason why I wasn't worried or anything like that, because they always do. Shit me, when I got to the pharmacist, with no medication now. So I had to spend a whole dang on day with my head hurt real bad. I was crying in my dang on pillow, trying to take some dang on Advil. The Advils was not working when nothing worked. So I was just I was just going through it for a whole dang on day. And he told me to meet him like before I went to work. He told me to meet him or whatever. And I had one more day off, so I was able to manage the pain or whatever. Well, get it to a level to where I can, go to work, because I had to work. Just like I said, I take care of my kids. When I see, look, I don't even see my health or anything else when I got some. Look, if I can manage the pain, look, I can manage the pain. But I do whatever I have to do in order to take care of my kids. Just like when COVID came and everybody was scared to get the shot. They told me that I might have to get the shot and stuff like that. Before they could even ask me, I went and got the dang on shot. Because they told me some people would not want you in their house if you haven't got the COVID shot. I went and got the COVID shot without a question, because I had kids to take care of. So I sacrificed my own self for the continue to care for my dang on children. I don't care what nobody say about anything, and the shot's supposed to be this and the shot's supposed to be, man, I don't care about none of that. I had to work. And if I had to get the dang on shot, I wasn't scared to get the shot. I went and got the shot. When I got my second shot and all that stuff like that, they gave me the third one, all that stuff like that. Everything was covered. We good. So I kept on working and stuff like that. Just like I said, when I have to do what I have to do, I'm going to do what I have to do when it comes to my kids. That's why I don't understand none of this stuff that happened and all this stuff like that, and all these people that was involved and coming against me, because they came against the wrong dang on one. I'm not a criminal. I don't do stuff to put myself in no situation to where I go to jail, because I don't like it. I don't like being around people. So why would I be doing stuff and creating terrible moments for myself to be in jail if I don't like going to jail? It just don't make no sense. Like, come on, make it make sense, because I don't understand. But just like I said, it's something about people doing truth spells. I have your truth, nothing but the truth. Shit, God, just saying, I have your truth. But it's just wrong how people do you and think that, everything is just okay with the things that they're doing. Like they way, it's better and all this stuff like that, and how they doing you or whatever is out of love. That's not no love. Because would you go through the same thing? Would you be able to get through what you have took me through easily? Because I make it look easy, according to other people, I make it look easy. When nothing easy what I went through. I went through a lot, man. And the judgment of people who couldn't even get through the same thing that they put me through. Man, shame on y'all. Because it hurt it. Just like I said, man, I say, you know what, I just want to turn away from a lot of things. And the reason why I want to turn away from a lot of things is because it hurt. This hurt, man. I know when nobody want to go through this same thing on her. I wouldn't want to take nobody through this same thing on her. So why are people doing me like this? I have never did anything wrong to anybody. So why am I being treated the way that I'm being treated? Like I don't matter. Like these people really was convicting me. I wasn't convicted of anything, but they was convicting me. Whatever conviction that they felt like convicting me of. They felt like I deserved heartache and pain. I deserve abuse. I deserve all of these things that they knew they couldn't even get through. These people really hurted me. And then they wanted my enemies to have a laugh at me. Like, how could y'all want somebody to go through all of these things that ain't did nothing to nobody? Why? Do you really feel like I deserve to go through any of that they put me through? I didn't. But I went through it with no problem, Kept my head down and kept on going. I didn't even talk about it. I just was like, you know what? I'm just going to leave well enough alone. But we all go through things. Don't never think that, don't nobody go through stuff just because how they look. Because I went through hell and back. I did. I even felt like I was going to lose my life at once. And I used to always say a prayer, like, Lord, just take my soul if I don't make it, this, that, and the third, before I lay down. Because that's how I felt. I felt like I wasn't going to make it the next morning. This is what these people took me through. I felt like I was not going to make it to see the next day. And they asking me why I don't want to be attached to my doctor. You're supposed to be my doctor and I couldn't even get no help from you. Make it make sense. Not even when I had allergic reaction. And I was calling out to my doctor and I told them to call, I called the emergency number for them to call me. For her to call me back. She wouldn't even call me back until after after it hadn't cleared up. And I cleared it up myself. She sent me an EpiPen. Hell, I don't need the EpiPen no more. You sent it late. Just like I said, they was trying to create me having bad health. And they did that. Shame on you. And the same thing that y'all sent out to me, I hope y'all, be able to get through it like I did. No, I don't. I send it back to you 1,000 times forward is what I do. Because all y'all deserve everything y'all put out towards me. I hope you get it back. I do. I don't even feel sorry. Because y'all wrong for what y'all did. God knows y'all are. And y'all had all these people joining along, rejecting me, treating me like I ain't nothing. I guess because they was getting paid to do all of this. For what? So you gonna take on a job to come against me? Why? I didn't deserve that. And I tell you that it's like the whole city just crucifixed me, like Jesus. I done went through a whole crucifixion and thinking that I wasn't gonna even make it to see the next day. Do you hear me? And it's the honest God truth. Just like I said, I just got to a comfortable spot to where I can even talk about it. Because I used to talk about it and I used to just cry. I used to just wail all the time. I done said this before when I had my other YouTube channel, and I used to be crying on my YouTube channel, trying not to cry, but it was still fresh then. Now I can talk about it without, crying about it. I tear up, but some stuff just be messed up, but I made it through it though. But just like I said, people, they try to make it seem like they ain't never been through anything, or they look at me as like I never went through anything. Everything that belongs to me should have been mine. But they decided to work together to try to take it away from me. I deserve everything that God wants to give to me, or anybody else who left me anything. I deserve it. After everything that I went through, I deserve everything that's supposed to be left to me. Not no secret court cases behind my dang on back with people trying to go in and see how they gonna do what to come against me, to steal from me, to take from me, behind my dang on back. Having this person clone me to make it seem like they're me and they're not. With these people making up fake IDs and stuff like that to look like me, or to go into the courtroom to falsify documents and all that stuff like that. Like, are you serious? Y'all doing all of that for what? For what? And who you had to step in the court is me? My little sister, son? Or who? Who's supposed to be looking like me? Because the only way the judge would rule in somebody's favor is if they come in acting like, they're me. They're using my identification. And the only way they can use my identification, this is the only way they could have used my identification, y'all. My work ID. When I end up getting my kid's father his car back, because it's a car that I used to use or whatever to go back and forward to work, or be able to go back and forward to work until he caused the problem for me. I used to pay for rent a car. You might as well say I was renting a car. So from my kid's daddy now. And I'm going to work, putting all my money on my children now. But I got to rent a car for my kid's father who ain't doing nothing for my children. So when I gave him his car back, I ended up leaving my ID, my work ID in there. So the only way they were going to be able to use my name is if they get my ID from from my work ID. They get all the information from my work ID. And they had my personal information. Anyway, they had my personal information because I used to stay with them, with my kid's father and his mother. I used to stay with them. So the only way they're able to falsify anything is that something that I left behind. It's just like I said, I had my work ID, inside of the car whenever I left the car with him. And I used to call him and ask him, can you give me my work ID? I left my work ID in there. Can I come? Oh, I sold the car, this, that, and the third. Okay, so if you sold the car, that don't mean that the stuff that was in it is still in it. Who is you having stepping inside of a courtroom to be me? Or whatever y'all did. However you did what. Just like I just said, this person been running around for years, making it seem like we married and stuff like that. Oh, okay, so we married, but I'm out here struggling. But we supposed to be married? Look like you doing good with your your girlfriend or whatever she is to you. But I'm gonna call her trick because she decided to come after me. You don't even know me, man, sir. Cause ain't no telling with him. He like it all. I'm just saying, he like it all. But I ain't even come after these people. I ain't care what they had going on in their life. I just wanted to live mine. The best way I say it, the best way I knew how. And these people just started coming for me. And I wonder why they came for me. How you saying that me and you married? The only way somebody can say that you married to them if they want to take whatever is inherent to you. They have to make you look crazy. They have to do a whole lot of things to be able to steal from you. And how they felt like stealing from me. How they felt like stealing from me is taking my information and all that stuff like that to be able to take to a court and all that stuff like that. But anyway, I love y'all. Thank y'all for listening. Thank you for watching. I'll come back on here with other things as they come to me. I'm gonna come and tell y'all about it. But I love y'all so much, and y'all have a blessed rest of y'all day. See you later, guys.